Woolly and the Thunder. Winter has arrived, and a cold wind blows. The sky is cloudy, and soon there will be snow. Woolly lies cuddled, in his blanket he's warm, no need to go outside in the storm. Suddenly, from outside a light flashes bright, little Woolly shivers with fright, and right after the light comes a very loud sound, a sound so loud it shakes the ground. It's thunder and lightning, the wintry pair, crashing and thundering through the cold winter air. Lightning says, "This winter I shall rule. I will be king as long as it's cool." And thunder lets loose a rolling great chuckle, a sound so loud your knees nearly buckle. Woolly looked out at the sky and thought in his head, "Thunder and lightning, I'll just stay in bed. One makes loud noise, the other one flashes. I don't think I'll mind if I miss any classes." But on his way back to bed, he was startled by a yelp. It was Johnny the dog, yelping for help. He was trembling all over, from his nose to his tail. He even tried to hide in a pail. "I've got to help John," Woolly thought to himself. He got up and paced from his bed to the shelf. Then suddenly a grin appeared on his face, a sign that his brain had begun to race. "You should be ashamed," Woolly said to the thunder and lightning. "You don't rule this winter, even if you are frightening. Long before you, the wind was here, whistling far and blowing near. If you ask me, I'll tell you, it's true. Wind is the king, definitely not you." The pair of them stopped and looked at each other. Could the king truly be another? Where is the wind? Tell us right now. We'll find him and explain to whom he must bow. Find him we must. There can only be one king. That breezy young pup must understand this thing. And then, without even waiting for an answer, the pair went to find just where the wind blows. At last, it was quiet, and all breathed a sigh. Thunder and lightning were gone from the sky. And if by chance you see lightning flash or hear the sound of thunder crash, then know it's the sound of the stormy pair arguing with the wind high up in the air. Woolly and the Snow. On a cold winter day, a little dark and gray, the first winter snow came falling flake after flake. And in the kitchen, Woolly was baking a treat, fresh angel biscuits that he loves to eat. A touch of brown cinnamon and a flour he takes, some sugar to decorate. They're so simple to make. As he placed the cookies in the oven to bake, he became fascinated by the beautiful white snowflakes. "Come out and play," the snow called to Woolly, and out he went and forgot about his cookies. Sam was already outside, white from head to toe, from jumping and rolling around in the snow. Together they played, with joy and with glee, until all of a sudden, what did Woolly see? From the oven chimney, a black cloud of smoke. He forgot the cookies in the oven. That's no joke. He ran to the kitchen, but it was already too late. The cookies just lay there, burnt on the plate. Like chunks of black coal, they lay on the pan. And all that's left are candies. That wasn't our plan. Woolly sat down, frustrated and sad. Then he saw Sam's tail bounce and wag. But what is Sam the dog doing in the snow? Snow rabbits and snow bears, he's building, of course. Woolly, of course, comes to join in the fun. If there's a game going on, he won't be outdone. Look how much snow he can gather so fast. It's so much fun. We want this game to last." When they had finished the work, they both took a look and said, "That's not how rabbits look in a book." And the bear does not really look like a bear. What is missing? Maybe some hair? Sam said, "I know. There's no eyes and no tail, and I believe the mouth is missing as well. A bear's not a bear if he doesn't have hair. We must, I think, put hair on this bear." "I have an idea, Sam. I know just what we'll do. We'll use these burnt cookies and the colored candies too. We'll sprinkle some on the top and on the sides too. Now that's much better. Yes, that will do." So even if it's snowing outside and it's colder than cold, your cookie's burnt and the cheese has grown mold, you can still have fun if you know where to look. Just take the colored candies and your coat off the hook. Woolly and the Sea. What a very hot day it's going to be. So Woolly and his family are going to the sea. Riding in the car, the sun shining bright, and at the beach the family arrives. Daddy took out an umbrella for shade while Mommy prepared the food she had made. Woolly stood alone and looked at the sea. He looked far away, as far as can be. And a wondrous thought captured Woolly's bright mind. Where does this wonderful sea end, he must find? Where do the waves come from, and where do they go? And from where do the salty waters flow? How do shells arrive on the beach? Where do seagulls come from, and why do they screech? And where does the yellow sun go at the end of the day? Where does it hide? To where does it drift away? Even when Woolly looked as hard as he could, he saw nothing unusual, though he thought that he should. Just blue without end, both sky and the sea, and seagulls flying high, careless and free. He tried very hard, but to his dismay, the soaring blue waves were in his way. What would he do? Thought little Woolly with grief. How would he find out what's at the end of the sea? But as always, he thought of a brilliant plan, not simple of course, but Woolly began. He started gathering a great pile of sand, as much as he could gather in his two little hands. He gathered sand in buckets, and he gathered sand in pots. He used his own two hands and his blue can that he had brought. And all the sand he gathered to build a ladder very high, a ladder made of sand that almost reached the sky. And when the work was completed, as he had planned, Woolly climbed up the ladder he built out of sand. He climbed and climbed for quite a while. Why, Woolly must have climbed quite nearly a mile. And from the white fluffy cloud way up high, to find the end of the sea he did try. But even then, when he looked as hard as he could, he did not see what he thought that he should. The end of the sea he just couldn't find, only endless blue waters and nothing else behind. And Woolly thought to himself, maybe the sea has no end. So he climbed down and went to play in the sea, his friend. Woolly and the Puddle. It's great to go out and play. when the rain has finally gone away. So when Wooly saw the sky was clear, he left his house from the door in the rear. Outside the house there waits a breeze, as nice a breeze as you could please. The world now seems quite fresh and new, the grass awash in morning dew. Like diamond drops on blades of green, what a perfectly delightful scene. Wooly smiled and then walked along, humming his most favorite song. Under the pine tree, what a treat, delicious mushrooms he could eat. They're always there. After the first rain, it rains, they grow, they don't complain. When he moved in for a better look, he'd seen these mushrooms in a book. His foot got wet, so it was plain he stepped in a puddle left by the rain. Wooly was glad his boots were on, even though the rain was gone. But what's this floating? Can you see? 3 leaves have fallen off a tree. They don't look glad. They look rather sad. I think that they would rather be back at the top of their beloved tree. Wooly saw that they were sad and told them that it's not that bad. In fact, he told them, I'd love to float all day long just like a boat. I think you're very lucky, leaves. You could sail to see the 7 seas. The leaves didn't really understand till Wooly asked some birds to land. He raised his arms above his head, and the birds in song he led. The birds sang a pretty song, not too short, not too long. The leaves at last began to smile. They danced a dance, while all the while Wooly and his friends looked on, clapped their hands, and joined in song. Wooly and the Dark.